How about the Bruise Cruise? We're promoting it here in 1991. They say the phone number is no longer active, but we know there was a Wrestle Vessel and a Bruise Cruise, and
I went on that.
Sting doing a little promo for the Bruise Cruise. Yeah, tell us about your Bruise Cruise experience.
Jim Ross and I guess it was his wife at that time or his girlfriend, because this was before Jan. They took half of the cruise, and Lois and I took the other half of the cruise. And Lois and I went down to Jamaica to pick up the boat in Jamaica, and then go the rest of the way. And we ended up.
Where'd you carry the boat when you picked it up?
So it was a lot of fun, and we took a bus. That's the way they did it. You kind of went half and half. We took a bus from the where we landed in Jamaica, from the airport to the port, and we really had a good time. Had a very nice room above deck. It wasn't below. And Lois, who hates boats, really had a good time. So it was a very cool experience for us.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
Lois had. Have I told you about the captain's dinner story from Lois?
You have, but it's worth repeating. Do it again.
You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
So we have the captain's dinner, which is the final dinner before the end of the cruise, and it's really, really a very nice dinner. You dress up for it. And for dessert, they bring out baked Alaska. Have you ever had baked Alaska?
I've seen it with the big flames down at one of my favorite little steakhouses, a small mom and pop operation in South Huntsville called Nick's Restaurante.
I think it's ice cream and cake, and it's all mixed together. It's really pretty spectacular. The waiters come out carrying it and it's quite a
and they set it on fire.
Set it on fire. Quite a presentation. So a couple of days before, when we landed in Jamaica, we stayed at like the Westin. It was very nice. We went downstairs and had a brunch, or I'm sorry, a dinner, which was a buffet, and they had flan. So I was eating the flan, and Lois said, "How does that flan taste?" And I said, "It's great," and it really wasn't. So I dipped my spoon in the flan. She opens her mouth and she tastes the flan and she goes, "Bleh," and she spits it onto a napkin, throws it away. I'll tell you that story to tell you this one. Now we're at the captain's dinner, maybe 3 days later, and Lois, and we've got every table had like a couple of people from the office, and like fans, would mix in with the wrestlers, and we had fans at our table. I remember we had Dennis Brent and his wife at our table. And so I take a bite of the baked Alaska, and Lois said, "How does that taste?" And I did the exact same thing. I put my spoon in it. I picked it up and I held it out for her to taste it. And she backs her head up and says to me, "Oh no, you're not going to shove something into my mouth like you did a couple of nights ago." And the whole table just like, I think everybody that had a bite of baked Alaska spit it on the table at that time.
Because what do you say to that?
Yeah. Don't shove it in my mouth. He did that thing the other night. So needless to say, that was the highlight of, and Lois all of a sudden realized what she said. And Dennis Brent's wife, although I can't remember her name, a very small, very quiet young lady, almost had a conniption fit laughing so hard. Lois Schiavone lives forever.
Speaking of living forever, so the legend of Great Muta, we're seeing him wrestle a very young Lex Luger. Lex Luger looks like he's in the best shape he ever did. I mean, I think this might be the best Lex ever looked. The referee is another Florida guy, Bill Alfonso. So this is a much better opponent for Lex than the last time they were together in a pretty famous match with Bruiser Brody down in Florida. But boy, this is not exactly what we were hoping for the Great Muta. He loses in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. And Meltzer says, granted, the length of the match doomed it from the start. However, didn't Flair and Muta work an awesome 2 minutes at Starrcade 89? They twice showed Bill Kazmaier in the audience. I dreaded that they were going to bring him in next. The only thing in the entire match was Muta missing a handspring elbow, then sailing over the top rope onto the floor. The bump looked like it should have killed him, but in reality, he's so graceful that he popped up like he wasn't hurt. It was a little too obvious, however, that one of the photographers ran to him right on camera and handed him his mist gimmick. He got in the ring, blew the mist, but Luger blocked it and power slammed him for the win. What a waste of a great talent. And it was so quick that Luger didn't pick up any momentum from scoring a big win by going into the pay-per-view match. In fact, it should have been emphasized the moment of the win and continually throughout the show how Luger earned the title shot. Oh, yeah, there's the announcer or the photographer. In fact, it should have been emphasized the moment of the win and continually throughout the show how Luger earned the title shot at the winner of the Flair Bobby match. He gave it a dud rating. But, man, seeing him sail over the top rope was something to see. And you did see the photographer on camera hand him the mist. There it comes, and there's the finish. Man, in an alternate universe, Muta was such a big star. And it just, I think that's got to be one of the bigger misses from this era of WCW, how we didn't make Muta a bigger star.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I, this was Muta's big year was 89, right? With the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was not around in 89. So I did not have that much exposure to Muta. But from what I saw, he was like fucking unbelievable. How about these little packages?
On Steve Austin is cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Hey, we got a lot of questions. Let's hit some of those. Cheyenne the Voice says, do you feel this is a lost gem as a world title Clash of the Champions match? Flair and Eaton always delivered in their singles matches, but they clearly maximized their minutes here. So we got some big fans of Bobby Eaton and Ric Flair in the main event spot. Do you think that qualifies as maybe a lost gem, a forgotten great match?
Well, we're going to watch it and see. I can't remember it, so maybe it wasn't that phenomenal.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-Free Shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.